Okay, this lesson is from section 2.5 and it is on geometry word problems. Problem number 1, the length of the garden is 30 feet. The width is 12 feet. Determine the length of fence needed. And we are given our formula, perimeter equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. One of the best math teachers I ever had said that the first rule of problem solving is to draw a picture. And I think that's especially true with geometry problems. All right, so this is not going to be a fancy picture. I've just got a rectangle, but I think it is going to kind of help us with this. The length of the garden is 30 feet. So I'll label each of these lengths here 30. And the width is 12 feet. Determine the length of the fence needed. Well, we really don't have anything to solve with this formula other than to plug in 30 in place of the L, and in place of the W, we're going to plug in 12. Right, so I have 2 times 30 plus 2 times 12, and that's 60 plus 24, which is 84. So we're going to need 84 feet of fence. Okay, problem 2, the base of a triangle measures 4 centimeters and the height measures 6 centimeters. Determine the area of the triangle. So I have all the information that I need to just plug in that formula, so I don't really need to draw a picture here. Area equals 1/2 base times the height. So the area is 1/2 times 4 times 6. Now, when I multiply this out, I can do this a couple of different ways. Normally, when I follow my order of operations, I do multiplication from left to right. But I can also associate multiplication in any different way I wanted to. So I can multiply 1/2 times 4 first, or I can multiply the 4 times 6 first. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and take half of 4, which is 2. So then I'm going to have 2 times 6, and that's 12. So 12 centimeters squared is my answer. Okay, problem number 3. Determine the volume of water the fish tank can hold. And we're given the formula volume equals length times width times height. So I'm going to rewrite that formula. And I like to rewrite my formula so it can be kind of big, so where that when I substitute in my numbers in place of my variables, I can be sure that I have everything lined up. So the length is 20, the width is 10, and the height is 12. So when I multiply this together, I get 200 times 12. And that's going to be 2,400. So the volume is 2,400 cubic inches. Okay, problem 4, determine the measure of each angle. Note the figure is not drawn to scale. Now, what you need to remember here is that a straight line is 180 degrees. So these two angle measures have to add up to be 180. So the first angle is 6x plus 20, and then I'm going to add to that the measure of the second angle, which is 4x plus 30, and that equals 180. So combining my like terms on the left-hand side, I get 10x plus 50, and then from here it's just a basic two-step equation that I'm solving. So x is 13. Now that is not my final answer. That's just what x is. I'm not asked to figure out what x is. I want to figure out the measure of each of these angles. Well, this first angle is 6x plus 20. So it's going to be 6 times 13 plus 20. And if you need to, somewhere on scratch paper, write this out to where that you do 6 times 3 is 18, put down your 8, carry your 1, 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7, so that's 78 plus 20, which is 98. So this first angle is 98 degrees. The second angle I could figure out a couple of different ways. I could multiply 4 times 13 and add 30, which is going to be 52 plus 30, which is 82. Or the other way to do this, since I know that they add up to be 180, is to take 180 and subtract the 98 and get 82. So either way, I get 82 degrees for the measure of that second angle. Okay, problem 5, determine the measure of each angle. Note the figure is not drawn to scale. What I have here are complementary angles. So these two angles measures add up to be 90. The first angle measure is x plus 4. The second angle is 2x plus 20. So when I add those together, I get 90, combining my like terms on the left-hand side. 3x plus 24 equals 90, so subtract 24 from both sides of the equation. I get 66, so x equals 22. So the first angle's measure is x plus 4, so it's going to be 22 plus 4. So that angle is 26 degrees. So I'll go ahead and label that. And the second angle is 2x plus 20. So 2 times 22 plus 20, which is 44 plus 20. So that second angle is 64 degrees. And when you add those two together, you do get 90. Problem number 6, determine the measure of each angle. What you need to be sure that you remember here is that the angles of a triangle add up to be 180. So I'm just going to take all three of these angles, add them up, set them equal to 180. Okay, and there's my equation that I need to solve. So I'm going to combine my like terms. I'm going to add up all of the x terms. So I get 6x, and then I combine all of my constants, and I get 60. So now I have a basic two-step equation that I need to solve. Subtract 60 from both sides of my equation. Divide by 6, so x is 20. Now, I'm not done yet. I wasn't asked to just find out what x is. I want to know the measure of each angle. The first angle here on the bottom left is 3x plus 50. So I'm going to substitute 20 in place of that x. So I'm going to have 3 times 20 plus 50. So that angle is 60 plus 50, which is 110. So it's 110 degrees. The angle at the top of my triangle is 2x minus 10. So substituting 20 in place of the x, I have 2 times 20 minus 10. So that's 40 minus 10, which is 30 degrees. And then the last angle is x plus 20, so it's 20 plus 20, which is 40 degrees. And if I were to take all three of these angle measures, 1, 10, 30, and 40, add them up, I would get 180. In problem 7, in the triangle below, angles B and C have the same measure, and angle A is 30 more than each of the other angles. Determine the measure of each angle. I'm going to let x be the measure of angle B, and since B and C are equal, x is also the measure of angle C. Now, angle A is 30 more than either one of those, so angle A is x plus 30. So now that I have each of my angles labeled, I can set up my equation. X plus x plus 30 equals 180, and then solve from there. So let me give you a minute to pause the video and solve the equation and figure out the angle measures. Okay, so when you solve the equation, you get x to be 50. So angle B is 50 degrees, angle C is 50 degrees, and angle A is 30 more than that, so angle A is 80 degrees. Okay, problem 8, if the perimeter of the rectangle below is 120 centimeters, find the value of x. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is to label the other sides of my rectangle. So this left-hand side has a value of x, and then the top part of the rectangle is x plus 20. Now the perimeter is the distance all the way around. I've got a couple of different perimeter formulas that I could use. One of the formulas is this: perimeter equals 2 parentheses length plus the width. And there's the perimeter formula that we used in the first problem: 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And the other perimeter formula is just where I add up all the sides. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to add up all these sides. So x plus 20 plus x plus 20 plus x equals 120. So from here I can combine my like terms and solve. So I get x to be 20. And that's all I'm asked to do on this problem, just to find the value of x. They didn't ask me to find the length of each side. Okay, problem 9, the perimeter of a rectangle is 84 feet. The length is 4 feet more than the width. Determine the length and the width. So again, I'm going to draw a picture for this. I don't know what either side is. I'm going to let W be the width. And I know that the length is 4 more than that, so the length I could write as W plus 4. So now I have my diagram with all sides labeled, and again I can use either perimeter formula or just add up all 4 sides. So I'm just going to add up all 4 sides. So I have W for the first side, W plus 4 for the second side, W for the third side, and W plus 4 for that fourth side, and those add up to be 84. So when I solve this, I combine my like terms. I get 4W plus 8 equals 84. Subtract 8 from both sides, so 4W is 76. Divide both sides by 4. So W is 19, right? So the width is 19 feet. And the length is 4 more than that. So the length is going to be 19 plus 4. So the length is 23 feet. And if you wanted to go back and double check, you can add up 19 plus 19 plus 23 plus 23 and check to see if you get the perimeter of 84. And you do.